Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fear the Old Lore. Yesterday we left off in the Ringed City. We got through what Chad is now calling the delayed streets because I took so much damn time dying there. And the funny thing is, for those who weren't tuned in yesterday or skipped out a little bit, I was trying to get the dialogue for one of the Locust preachers' sayings right there. And the Herald Knights that were stomping around were kind of distracting me, and I wanted it to be quiet. And of course, it was only after I finished the stream that I had the bright idea that I could have just turned down the sound effects from the game options. So I kind of just wasted like an hour for nothing yesterday, just dying over and over, which is kind of really funny in retrospect. But yeah, we'll just deal with it. So I hope everybody's doing well. Starting off, heading into the swamp for the next portion of the Ring City. So, yeah. And then Nymphalis, welcome back. Katie, welcome back. And Emlyn as well, welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. Said good luck on the stream. And not that I need it. Well, yesterday I certainly needed it. But, if not luck, just the mental acuity to use the tools that we actually have available to us. So, yeah, yesterday we finished off with pretty much the stuff that we can do over there for now. We haven't gone to the right of this structure, and we haven't explored the swamp at all yet. But we did go up there, and we fought Leto and got his giant hammer. So that's where we're going to continue off from today. And Senshin, welcome back in, and thank you for the good luck, have fun. And Lemon Pyre, welcome back as well. So I need to turn up the sound on my end. Okay, that should be better. For me, at least. Oh, they have dialogue? Oh, interesting. Oh, has a bit more health than I was expecting. I was pressed for stamina. So it takes about 4 R2s to kill the big ones. That was pretty bad. Alright. So yeah, yesterday, as I'd pointed out, we get like these big old crystals that are appearing around this area. So they're like all along the mountainside over there in the distance. And so this swamp itself is probably composed of some parts of like liquid humanity, because it's all black and stuff, and we see like all the locusts. It's tripping me out. I keep hearing it in my ear. We're just kind of feeding over here, and then we get like the gigantic adjudicator giant. I think he was kind of a pain in the butt. He would like summon things towards us. I don't fully remember though. So probably just deal with this guy, and then I'll go back around that way. I grabbed the other one. Got a little bit lucky it didn't hit me. So we're just gonna aggro the whole swamp today. Judy is a pain. Yeah, I don't remember what he does. I think he like summons stuff, or he does like really atrocious magic. If I remember correctly, he was easier to kill than I would have thought, like on the first time going through. Okay, so we can't go this way. Didn't think we could, but the whispering is going to be kind of trippy. Get it this way. The souls. Oh, okay, I actually kind of remember what's over that way now. That way was a real pain in the ass. He sees us. What's he do? Okay. I was afraid of that. Okay. That makes sense. Don't kill me. Probably need to heal twice after that. Let's get him once more. Okay. I don't remember the real trick to deal with this dude if he's gonna shit. summon in all the archers. They stayed up way longer than I was expecting. Okay. Alright, so I won't deal with him. I'll probably just like run around for a little bit. Because there has to be a spot where you can kind of choose him. Something like that. Professor Gomez, welcome back. He said, greetings and have a great stream. Thank you. And Emlyn says, his witch summon is with the worst attacks. Try to get in front of him so he swipes at me. Yeah. If it weren't for the archers, I mean, I probably would have gone in front of him. Oh, forgot about that one. Wasn't trying to kick. Oh, that's cool. I should have rolled forward, I guess. That it? Okay, thought so. So maybe I need to run up the building to get to where I was thinking of, all the way on the right. It's been a while. Damn it, that's not what I wanted. That's doubly not what I wanted. Too nonchalant over here, I guess. Oh, that has range. Probably gonna get skewered from behind, yeah. That's cool. Might want to bait out some of those attacks. Didn't roll. There it goes, way buffered. Guess I didn't damage that one. Enough dealing with all that crap. Let's go ahead and Ember up instead of using all of the Estus. It'll probably be good if we get sniped a bit by all the archers. Maybe I should grab those souls. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Oh, double damn it. Is this the witch? Oh, okay, so that's what it was. Interesting. Check that out. Oh, 117,000. I should... I might want to go back. Oh. Katie says, you had an idea about translations, if I can confirm it. You know that Japanese is very sensitive to formality. I thought when the characters speak, some spoke older English was a very polite Japanese. I almost mentioned some of that yesterday on the stream, that I thought it was kind of funny at times, where like, we're sent super far into the future, yet Shira speaks like a kind of archaic style of English that... For whatever reason, like in these kind of games, or like it's a common trope, like even if you get sent in the future, they speak like old-timey as opposed to like more modern, or like a different kind of language based on like a more modern or futuristic style. Kind of funny. My chunk. Okay, so yeah, I think we do. Okay, no, this is what I wanted at first. This should be fine, and then that's like the problematic area later on. We get our preacher friend again. This should be the last of his dialogue, I think.
And so, she lived in fear of the dark, of the things that gnawed at her flesh. And yet, The abyss hath yet to produce any such creature. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
That was a little bit scuffed. I mean, he'll repeat it. It's looking a bit better. This. Yeah, that should be good. So, Ellen says, Shear's from Anne Orlando originally, so that does fit. Yeah, but I mean, we got sent to the future, and so maybe Shira was as well from a different time. It's kind of weird, because, like, presumably, Eleanor has been in the Ringed City since ancient times, if it was Gwyn who sent her here, and with the fire reconverging back onto one point, this is, like, presumably the future. Or maybe one could explain it as, like, a kind of parallel style dimension where it just kind of works like that. And Nymphalia says she was in that room for a long ass time though, so it makes sense that her English didn't evolve. What thee speaketh of? Yeah. I'll talk about that a bit more maybe after the Locust. Or no, I should do it beforehand, before I get like super distracted. So yeah, I mean I haven't paid too much attention to Shira's dialogue specifically, but sometimes like they do use more archaic English or archaic Japanese. So for example, characters like King Vendrick are really hard to understand because sometimes they'll use more archaic Japanese that modern speakers don't use, so you kind of have to spend more time trying to parse it out if you're not like super familiar with it to begin with. And one of the difficulties with that at times, maybe this doesn't come up in like King Vendrick specifically, is learning more about archaic grammar patterns. So this kind of thing comes up in like the prayer with Amelia in the Healing Church. So how do I want to say it? It's kind of hard to describe just because of how many differences there are with English, but in Japanese they have something that's called like the volitional form, which means like expressing a will or a desire to do something. So like let's go to the store would just kind of be like mise ni iko, and like that iko is like the to go, but it's like in its volitional form. So an archaic version of that would be let me think, ikan. That'd probably be it. But if you say like ikan in like today's Japanese, it sounds like don't go to the store, like I can't go to the store. So sometimes it becomes like a point of difficulty if you're trying to translate something and knowing whether or not it's actually using like archaic grammar or if it's using modern grammar. At least with Vendrick, since most of his speech patterns are like pretty old style, it's kind of easier to piece that he's probably saying like don't go to the store. I mean, obviously he doesn't say go to the store or anything like that, but yeah, those are just some of the weird things one needs to be aware of when they're trying to deal with certain pieces of dialogue like this. And in other cases, it's not entirely clear if they do revert to using like more archaisms, because I think sometimes that stuff will come up in either like notes or item descriptions, and so you really just kind of have to wing it to try to figure out if they're trying to go for more of like an ambience building type thing in the Japanese, or sometimes it's just kind of inconsistent, which is a little bit annoying. But I mean, there's also inconsistencies in normal everyday English that we speak, so it's just kind of one of those things that you have to deal with when working with a source material and translating it from one language to another. And Emlyn says, you think she came with Filianor sort of like a guard. Yeah, but if she is human, it is a bit weird that she lived for so long then, if she was here since ancient times, since the times of the Chosen Undead. Whereas, like, we don't really get too many examples of that, with maybe the exception of, like, Kirk. But yeah. Okay. Go back to the Locust. So he was talking about Arena just a moment ago, and I'll redo that dialogue and we'll talk about that a bit more. So now he'll talk about Egon in relation to Arena.
And so, despite his weighty armor, he lived in fear of a delicate thing, little more than a girl. Where fire resideth, shadows twist and shrivel, but in the abyss there are shadows none. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
Let's get Arena stuff again, and then I'll like switch the camera angle and do it all over again.
And so, she lived in fear of the dark, of the things that gnawed at her flesh, and yet the abyss hath yet to produce any such creature. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
So I really like his dialogue here because it's kind of like maybe one of the examples of being mind blown about the lore that I discovered when I was first playing through it. And of course that does depend on if we can trust the white-faced Locust's preacher's words and whether or not he's lying or trying to seduce us, or whether or not this Locust preacher's knowledge is incomplete. But I don't know, just like the feeling that I get from it is that it's probably on the nose by FromSoft themselves to kind of give us more explanation about the world. I mean, there is a good chance, like, believe you me, there really is a good chance that this dude is mistaken or just doesn't quite tell the full truth, or maybe he doesn't have like the full picture of the truth. So take what I say with a grain of salt. He talks about Arena being gnawed at by the bugs on the inside, but the abyss hath yet to produce any such creature. And I'm trying to remember if he does say it directly in English. I thought he said like the abyss produces shadows none at one point. Let me try to double check this, because I don't think there's another section of his dialogue, or I don't think we'll see him again anywhere else. It's kind of one of those things that's gonna stand out and bother me unless I double check it right now. Oh, so it's probably when he talks about Egon here. Okay. So yeah, I'll do his text again, his dialogue again. And here. Gonna make this look cool, and then we'll talk about that.
And so, despite his weighty armor, he lived in fear of a delicate thing, little more than a girl. Where fire resideth, shadows twist and shrivel, but in the abyss there are shadows none. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin. And so,
okay, so there must be another line
of the dark.
He says, I don't remember where his last location is then.
Her flesh, and
damn it.
yet, the abyss hath yet to produce any such creature. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
Alright, so since I'm talking about this, I'll go into his next line. So he says, where fire resideth, shadows twist and shrivel, but in the abyss there are shadows none. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin. So this doesn't necessarily mean that, like, there is no dark or no shadows in the abyss. It could just be very well that, like, because the abyss is only dark, that there would be no shadows. But I go back to the idea of what's brought up in, is it Black Serpent? Oh, that's probably from Volnir's Spirit. Yeah, I don't think I can look at it right now. Okay, no, sweet. So black flames born from the abyss bear no shadow. They are said to be the impenetrable fires of humanity. So this kind of gets back at that idea that, like, the abyss flame and flame fire from humanity doesn't bear light in such a way that it can produce disparity, in my opinion. So I think what he says, like, there are no shadows in the abyss, ties back into this general theme that I'm talking about. So when he talks about Arena and says, like, she's frightened of the creatures, but the abyss hath yet to produce any such creature, he's saying, like, that's not part of the abyss. And so I'm not entirely sure if the Locust dialogue is more specifically, like, abyss related or darkness related. Presumably it'd be darkness related, but he embraces the abyss because, like, that's where the darkness comes from. So as I've said before in, like, the previous streams, once the flame is born, I think there really is no meaningful distinction between the abyss and the darkness as far as, like, the characters in this world can interact with it. But my own interpretation, based on, like, his dialogue here, as well as the Black Flame text and Black Serpent text, is the Abyss is probably closer to what the state of the world was during the Age of the Ancients. And part of the reason I come to that conclusion is due to the Dark Souls 2's Dragon Scale description, where it says, like, those who possess it can peer into the abyss. And so that's kind of a significant hint that, at least in the Age of Ancients, like, the abyss was still a thing, but it probably didn't have, like, the same function. So the way that I reconcile that idea would be that before the first flame comes, like, everything is in the Age of the Ancients, and that's essentially the abyss. But then once the fire appears, it casts light over what it can, and then since the fire is essentially still in the world of the Age of Ancients, and the abyss is still there, the things that get touched by light get illuminated, and the disparity causes shadows to taint the parts of the abyss where the light doesn't touch. So that's why I think, like, you could pretty much say that the abyss is synonymous with darkness as far as, like, the times where it's the Age of Fire. So there is a bit more I'll say about that, but let me catch up with chat. Mr. Ulster says, what is the deep to the abyss? That's a very, very good question. So I'll be frank and say we don't have a very perfect, well, that's kind of a poor way to say it. We don't have a good answer exactly to what it means, but the way that I kind of interpret the deep in relation to something like the abyss would be that the deep represents the stagnation of trying to keep the world continuing in its current form with the Age of Fire. And if we compare, like, the concept of the deep to what we see in the painted world with all the rot everywhere, I feel like the deep is the kind of equivalent of rot to, like, the darkness of humanity and everything. And originally it is said to be, like, calm and tranquil, which makes sense, but after long periods of time, like, all of the impurities will settle down to the bottom, and from those kind of impurities, like, terrible things can be manifested. And so this ties into, like, the FromSoft games a lot. That comes up in Sekiro. It comes up kind of behind the scenes in Bloodborne, but it is still there. Like, the League rune is called Yodomi, or stagnation, or dragon Japanese, and I feel like that's relevant when we consider the items like the human dregs. It uses the same kanji there for, like, the same concept. So, like, once you have, like, a pool of water, if you leave it standing out for an extended period of time, it'll eventually end up, like, turning brackish, and, like, algae and muck will congeal at the bottom of it, and then eventually, like, the water itself becomes nasty. And so that kind of gets related to the concept of flow in Shintoism. And so if you have, like, a flowing pool of water, like, the impurities can't collect down at the bottom, and it's considered like a fresher stream of water, or pool of water, than one that's just kind of stagnant and dormant. And that kind of ties back into, like, if you have, like, a pool of water, or, like, a lake that doesn't have, like, a lot of flow or whatever, that's where you get disgusting creatures like mosquitoes and things like that roosting and nesting and kind of bothering people. And it kind of all gets related to the concepts of, like, decomposition, death, and decay. And so there is a lot of sense to it. Like, it makes sense at, like, a kind of a fundamental level. So it's one of the things that I like to talk about, and it's a really big topic, and that's kind of why I'm going through the games again, just to get some more footage so I can more specifically talk about the stagnation topic in, like, a very focused video. So again, as far as, like, the deep goes, we don't have a good answer, but that's just how I kind of look at it. And Venom, welcome back to the stream. You said, the Abyss has yet to produce such creatures, and yet he's one such creature. Lots of dark spells also use nibbling insects, and several weapons throughout the game have been corroded by such. So, yeah, what I think that means is, like, the Abyss itself is probably meant to be separate from the concept of darkness. That's the vibe that I really get from that kind of elucidation that he gives us. And so that kind of is what drives my interpretation that the Abyss is technically separate from the dark, but at least in the Age of Fire, you can't separate them, if that makes sense. And Emlyn says, he himself and the Sword of Volnir show that he's wrong. The Locust came from the Abyss, so it did produce gnawing creatures. I feel like it's more like a square and a rectangle thing. So, let's say that, like, the abyss is a rectangle, and like darkness and whatever is a square. He's a product of the squares, and so there's a lot of overlap, but it doesn't. I don't think darkness comprises the entirety of the abyss. But I realized you also said that before I went into my kind of interpretation about it. Then Venom says, it's weird that black flames produce no shadow, since in real life no flames produce a shadow. Maybe flames in the Dark Souls universe do. So yeah, when we go back to the concept of like shadow and things like that, as far as like Dark Souls go, or Dark Souls goes, the concept of disparity itself is linked to the flame, or the fire, really. So I think that's important to keep in mind, and I feel like the Japanese is a bit clearer at getting into that idea, although it might have been on Black Serpent more specifically. I did kind of want to go back to Firelink Shrine, so this might be a good time to do it anyway, because I was going to level up, and this will give us a chance to look at Black Serpent. So, Mr. Luster says, am I saying that the deep and the abyss are the same? No, I'm saying, to me, I think the deep is like corrupted darkness, or like stagnant darkness, and so it's congealed into something nasty. And so going back to that topic, like, so human dregs are products of the deep. It's pretty clear here, but the term like dreg comes from is yodomi, and so the term for this is like human dregs is called hito no yodomi, and so hito is like person, no is like a possessive or an adjective marker, and so yodomi is either stagnation or the concept of dregs or sediment, like pooling and congealing at the bottom of something. So human dregs is a perfectly fine translation. And so dregs are the heaviest thing within the human body and will sink to the lowest depths imaginable, where they become the shackles that bind this world. So the final like parts right there, if we want to go back to my idea, like the abyss is probably something, a state of the world before like the fire came in. And if this is true, and that like somehow that the dregs are the shackles that bind this world, we could say like the world itself is made from things that are related to the abyss. I feel like that's kind of an easy claim to make when we look at the Dark Souls 2 dragon scale description there, that there is the abyss within the dragon scales themselves. And this isn't like a Medir style dragon, it's like actually like the old arc dragons, the everlasting ones. So, just in time. He said, you won't be able to watch the stream after DMV. Why do you think the Locust priests use sorcery instead of hexes or miracles? You don't really see why they would be magically inclined. Hello and goodbye, chat. Thank you, Justin, for dropping in. Hopefully I'll be able to answer your question before you totally poof out. But at least in like Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1, the hexes were more aligned with sorcery, and Dark Souls 2 does a really good job of saying that like the soul and the curse is the same. They're just kind of two sides to the same coin. And so if we look at sorceries more specifically, we can see that they're kind of aligned with literally like soul magic. And so I'm not exactly sure what the difference is between like sorcery and pyromancy. Pyromancy is called like jujutsu, so this could be like more related to curses. I think pyromancies are probably a bit more holistic overall in combining like fire and soul, but I don't exactly know where the distinction between fire and soul comes from in these games. So going back to the idea of sorcery specifically, this uses souls for its magic, whereas hexes were originally a form of sorcery, but instead of using souls, they used darkness. And so that's kind of like it's the same thing as sorcery, but in my mind, it's probably just like the opposite pole of it. So if I were to compare it to something like magnets, let's just say like sorcery is on like the north pole side of the magnetic spectrum, whereas like darkness is on like the southern pole. But it's kind of a crude example, but I hope it works. DMV is devoid of any fun. Furkan, welcome back to the stream. Elda says, ahoy, you think maybe the overflow of stagnation will result in change as new life grows from it. In the age of the deep, maybe when stagnation becomes dynamism. So yeah, as far as the Age of the Deep goes, I am a bit curious as to what Aldrich saw and whether or not there is really any credence to his beliefs. It's unfortunately something like we never really get a good glimpse into as to whether or not it's actually feasible or more of like a pipe dream on his part. Hold on. Let me scroll back up. Mr. Luster says, you don't think you answered my question? Repeat your question, because I might have answered it in between the timing, because I know there's the chat delay and I talked a lot. But I'll do my best again. Effervescent says, considering that a deep gem is to a dark gem what a fire gem is to a chaos gem in terms of game mechanics, do you think this comparison can help to illuminate the distinction? So I think that kind of like ties back into my point where like the deep is to dark, whereas fire is to chaos. Maybe, I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's like if I were to make like a dumb comparison to like SpongeBob, it's like when they go down way down into like the abyssal ravines of like past Bikini Bottoms. SpongeBob says to Patrick, like, this isn't any darkness, this is advanced darkness. I feel like that's kind of like what the deep is like. But I'll talk about that a little bit more. I'll just go through chat before I go back into another spiel about like the deep and stuff. And SG, welcome back to the stream. Soliloquy says, fire is contained within chaos, presumably. So maybe the deep is just an aspect of the dark or the abyss. So yeah, it probably is like an aspect to the dark to some degree, but I'm not entirely sure what to make of it other than like congealed extra darkness. So it doesn't seem to have like the same properties as normal humanity, and it could just probably be if we go back to the idea of congealed or like more specifically like refining darkness, it might take like what might be the most integral parts of human nature and strengthening it and like concentrating it into one form. And so when we look at spells like affinity, okay, I guess maybe it's the Dark Souls 2 one that says it a bit more explicitly, where it says like you're like kind of imbuing like the darkness with willpower, which is why it like seeks out its target, even if it can like only end in a tragedy. I mean, all of them are really similar, but it's just various slight differences between them. And they kind of focus on slightly different things, but kind of get at the same idea overall. So if we take that idea that darkness is attracted to humans because of either envy or love towards each other, and we really focus on like the more darker aspects of it, metaphorically speaking. And so maybe the only thing that's left is an appetite. That might relate to something like Gnaw, or Doris's gnawing, where those who linger too long on the brink of the deep will often slip. Okay. Doris is sure to have wallowed in this darkness, intoxicated by its peril. So it's kind of similar where this idea of yearning or like wanting life or something like that might be exaggerated in the deep level of spells. I mean, I'm not sure if that's correct, but I feel like that kind of resonates, and I think it could work, but it might need some more thought put into that. But very good questions. Rakan says, that's a fair and interesting point, Effervescent. And Lulster says, is there a correlation between the deep and the abyss? I feel like since if the abyss is like kind of like the cradle of the world, or like, how do I want to phrase that? The bedrock of the world, like literally, if like the abyss, if you could say like the abyss is the world, just like devoid of things, then I feel like the deep as a product of like darkness and whatever, fitting into the abyss would connect it with the abyss, in filling up like the gaps, I guess. And so I guess I should also say like there is a difference between like abyss in the sense of void, and whereas like abyss in the sense of potential, and let me try to think of how to phrase this, because it's kind of hard to explain. Okay, so if anybody's like ever listened to somebody like Alan Watts who talk about like Buddhism or something like that, he makes a really good parallel that's really well known in like Buddhism, about like what if you think of a cup, what do you think of? Like most people will think of like, just like a normal cup, a container, and it doesn't really matter like what the visualization of that is, but the important aspect of the cup isn't that it's like the physical shape of the cup itself. What makes the cup function as a cup is a product of the emptiness and the hollow between like the features of the cup. So if I were to compare like the abyss to a cup or like a glass or like a pool or even like a lake, I would say like the abyss itself is probably the full shape of that cup as well as the emptiness inside of it. And so once you get the flame you get like the emptiness could be essentially like all of the light. And so I would compare like the water within a cup or whatever liquid inside a cup to the fire and light. And I would compare like the darkness and all that stuff to the actual shape of the cup, which like keeps the water contained. But emptiness is a feature of the cup. Like it could not be a cup if it weren't for that emptiness. Like if it was just a full-on block, it would no longer be a cup. It would be something else. So emptiness is like one integral part of reality because it's where all of our potential kind of derives from as well. It's kind of a really crazy thought, but something I think is really beautiful, and I think that idea gets tied into Dark Souls as well. Oh, scrolling back up. Trying to get to the more questions. Mr. Lulster says, you don't think the Dragon Scale description should be taken seriously? So, I mean, I think that's a fair point to bring up. Unfortunately, though, I feel my personal belief about, like, not believing item descriptions is a bit dependent on the language used within them. So I feel like if you start to doubt the veracity of one item description that uses more factual language and doesn't use things like, it is said, it's believed, it's supposed, blah, 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 I feel if it says, like, something definitively, you kind of have to take it and roll with it, because as soon as you doubt the authorship of one, like, definitive description, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot, and you can then doubt every other description, and that kind of is a little bit self-defeating in that way that you will, if you doubt everything, you really end up with nothing that you can concretely work with. So that's just kind of my opinion about that. Mr. Lulster says, no other item descriptions mentions dragons being connected to the abyss. I mean, you're not wrong, but by the same token, when we look at things like the pus of men, coming from like the darkness of man and taking on the shape of wyverns, I do feel like even in Dark Souls 3, there is kind of that implicit connection between man and dragons and the true state of the world and the abyss. Although, you know, abyss with an asterisk in that, like, is kind of darkness aligned as far as, like, the time of fire is concerned. Then Elda says, pyromancy, you think, has a lot of the power come from the within aspect. Sorcery's power comes from applied knowledge, and miracle powers come from faith. So miracles are belief making change, and sorcery is hacking the world for change, and pyromancy is you make change. Advanced abyss. Gabriel, welcome back to the stream. And then Katie says, you've always thought that darkness is humanity. Humanity is euphemism for darkness created by gods. You doubt abyss is the same as the Age of Grey because humanity lived there and still fought dragons. So, yes and no. I mean, there is some contention that could be made in regard to when humans did show up, in that you might have had things like hollows, but they might have just been hollows before, like, the fire arose. But once the fire came into being, and then the ultimate Lord Souls were found, with the fourth one being the Dark Soul, you could say, like, darkness is humanity. Like, the game says it pretty much explicitly, like, over and over again. Like, to be man is to be dark. There's probably something, like, right here. Cast a dark manifestation of humanity. It talks about that thing, like, all the time. So the black flame inflicts dark damage. Oh, no, this one. They are said to be the impenetrable fires of humanity, and it's just like black flame. So to me, like, humanity at its core is related to the fire and disparity. And before disparity exists, they couldn't have been men as we know them. They're probably just like hollows. But whether or not people want to make more distinctions about that is kind of on them, I suppose. Elda says, what's the difference between hex and curse in Japanese? I need to double check what hex was. I think it was literally just dark magic. Let me look at Dark Souls 2, because it uses it a bit more specifically. Whereas curse is curse, I guess. Let me look up hex. Oh, it's like dark skill, so probably Anjutsu or Yamijutsu. Yeah, so it's like dark skill, dark technique versus like curse technique. Well, curse technique is technically like pyromancy, but curse is just like Noroi. and that appears in Pyromancy's Jujutsu. Rakan or Cool says that hexes combine the faith and intelligent aspects of change. Elda says the deep may be when the lowest nadir of the world becomes the whole world. Maybe. And Mortis Volt, welcome back. You said you cast Deep Soul and it upgrades with a talisman/chime. Yes? Maybe. I can't really cast any of the spells yet. And that's something I need to like delve into a bit more as well, like how the magic exactly like interacts with like catalysts and staffs and stuff like that. Do you know what the dragon scale description says in Japanese for Dark Souls 2? Yes, I do have that on my spreadsheet. I did that a long time ago. And Nightbot's working, so hopefully this will work this time. Spreadsheet. So it says, coming into contact with a fragment of a dragon, or of an old dragon, is also like peering into the world's abyss. This is kind of what it like literally says right there. So yeah, for whatever reason, like there is that explicit connection in Dark Souls 2 between the dragon scales and coming into the contact with the abyss of the world. And so, to be fair, there might be a kind of difference in what the game talks about with the abyss of the world versus just abyss in general, but it's kind of beyond me to distinguish what it would mean at this point. Emlyn says, you think the deep may be a mix of chaos and dark, and it happened via when the Fair Lady evolved into Rosaria. We feed her a bunch of dark in Dark Souls 1, and the place she was located was called the Depths. Well, I don't really think the Fair Lady became Rosaria, because we can still see the corpse of the Fair Lady when we go down to Izalith, or the Karthus place in this game. What's it called? The Smoldering Lake. I can show her off if we need to. Nightbot is rebelling. Dragon scales in Dark Souls already hint at it because they say as long as the scales exist, the dragon still lives. The Fair Lady became a corpse. Yeah, okay. So I was going to talk about him and something else again with the deep and the dark and all that. Let me get a little bit of water though. Oh yeah, it was about like arena and stuff with the gnawing.
And so she lived in fear of the dark, of the things that gnawed at her flesh, and yet the abyss hath yet to produce any such creature. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
So going back to his line right there, he might be right in saying like the abyss doesn't produce those creatures. They're probably produced from men themselves. For whatever reason, Arena fears the dark, and that prohibited her from becoming a Firekeeper, most likely, because when you look back at the Firekeeper robe, it says, only those who cherish the writhing, searing darkness were given the Keeper's black attire. I'm not saying, like, there aren't, like, bugs in the Abyss, because you guys are probably right in that, like, the Irithilian weapons do kind of contradict that, and they say that they're, like, worm-eaten, or whatever it's called in English. Where is it? The curved sword. Okay. The large black blade appears to be eaten away by insects, making it lightweight but also brittle. But it's also interesting, I guess, like, even in Dark Souls 1, like, the way that it talks about the darkness or the humanity within the Firekeepers was like, it was like gnawing away, like, from inside her bosom, I think is what it said. Something along those lines. So it's a term that shows up quite often in the games, like Mushibamu, which is, like, worm-eaten. So they say, like, eaten away by insects. There's really no good way to directly translate that. Kind of interesting idea, though. So, yeah. It does make me wonder whether or not the darkness that she fears is something more within her that she's afraid of, as opposed to something that's actually there. Because we can eventually turn her into a Firekeeper, and she, for whatever reason, she still, like, retains, like, the deep protection spells, and one of the other ones. It was another, like, dark miracle, but it was like a a friendlier one, for like lack of a better term, that I don't remember off the top of my head. So maybe it could show that like the deep itself is starting to infect darkness all around. Maybe that's something that's worth considering. And so I don't think he'd be wrong in saying like the dark doesn't, or like the abyss doesn't produce it. It could be like the darkness, or more specifically the deep, that produces the creatures. Not to say that he himself isn't like a kind of insectoid product of the dark tinged abyss. Emlyn says, only the spider's there, the lady's gone, think of the spider as a cocoon. Okay, I might want to double check that. And Katie says, you believe that the soul is a general thing and flames are classes, like Gwyn's flame of light, which is flame of life and chaos, and dark flame of humanity and darkness. Venom says, the Fair Lady was not located in the depths, Blighttown, Kalog's domain, Fair Lady's room. They're rather far apart. You want to give this Locust nerd a wedgie and shake him down for his souls? Alex says you've missed so many places on Dark Souls 3. LOL. Yeah, it's kind of really easy to miss a lot of stuff without a guide, especially like the NPC quest lines. This Locust Rumps looks like it was injected with seawater so it could commune with great ones. What is the feast? So the feast, it seems to be like humanity's time to get back at the gods and like devour the gods. So as I mentioned yesterday, instead of like saying like let the feast begin, which is a little bit ambiguous in English, like it sounds like this dude's about to eat the player, and that was kind of scary my first time coming through the area. The Japanese is wareda no shokuji no tokida. Wareda shokuji no tokida. I think that's what it was. Where it's like it's our time to eat, essentially. So he's including the player, so we all get to eat. The locusts are so bloodborne, Sag. Okay. So I think that was it I wanted to show for this spot right over here, because we talked to our Locust guy. So I'm going to go back to, what's it called? The Firelink Shrine. Oh, sweet, the Ring Knight Straight Sword. I'm going to go back to the Firelink Shrine and level up twice, as well as look at the Black Serpent text, because that's going to be useful to just kind of stay on theme. And then I might go back to check out the Fair Lady. I mean, I'll ignore like all the enemies, and I kind of remember where she is now, so it shouldn't take too long, hopefully. Well, it's on topic. Damn, it's already been 47 minutes. Talking for a bit there, which is perfectly fine. Let's look at the Black Serpent, talk to the Firekeeper, and then look at the sword. Be it sorcery or pyromancy, all techniques that infringe on humanity lead to the same place. That is to say, they all seek a will of their own. So it's saying like once the spells start to become dark, they all gain a will of their own, and once they get the will, that causes them to like hunger and like face others. And so that's a really big theme. I think Cornix, or is it Carla, they talk about it, like as soon as you lose your fear, you get consumed by that yearning. Oh, so Carla talks about like you might feel like a yearning or something like that. And so that's kind of like at the root of why we need to like fear and respect like a lot of the dark style spells, because once you lose your fear, you kind of give into the yearning, and then you get consumed by it, which is presumably what happened to Witch Izalith and how she became the bed of chaos. Eduardo Monteblanco, welcome back to the stream.
Do not be away.
Okay. Oh, almost didn't level up. That could have been disastrous.
Well, very well taken.
Yeah, I might want health. I mean, it's not a lot of health. Never mind. Pretty good on vitality for now. Like, yeah, I don't know. Endurance? Strength? I'm not sure what I want to level up. Dexterity? Oh, we get 2 points each? Okay, yeah, I'll just go with strength, I suppose.
Farewell, mate.
Ashen.
Here we go. We're gonna go back to not Izalith, essentially. The ruins? Antechamber, the ruins. That's that one. Yeah, okay. And then Elda says you thought the depths meant the bottom of the sewers. Okay. Arguing about where Quelaag's domain was. Wonder if I could one-shot these things now. The answer was no. It's all good though. Oh no, not that one. It's the next one. Then we go to the right, deal with the rats, and then it should be right there. So you're kind of right, there is like no upper portion to the corpse. So maybe she got out of it? It's kind of weird. And so this lady over here was Kolana. She kindly visited her sister again. Weird. It's weird. I'd almost expect like a hollow or something to be there. If she like actually left it. But I mean, I would also expect to see her thing there. It looks like she's surrounded by all of her eggs still, kinda. So yeah, it's a bit strange. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. Get a Gru dude? Okay. That orb roasted my tuchus. You forgot I used the gut sword. So Elda says, you're so curious about the nature of the coiled swords. Oh yeah, overall. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of them as far as like the bonfire is concerned. That and their like, kind of like ability to replace the what's it called? The function of the vessel. What's it called? The vessel? The Lord Vessel? Yeah, the Lord Vessel. Maybe the Pale Lady's Uden. You're pretty sure the sewers are called the sewers and the depths constitute what's below it. All the Uden memes. So I think that might have been it that I want to talk about for now in regard to like the darkness and things that the Locusts are talking about. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free. Hopefully I made my points clear. I think Elda said that, or was it Nymph that said? No, it was Lolster that said I didn't answer the question, right? So yeah, let me know if I did, or you still have unanswered questions. I tend to forget who says what, and I feel really bad about that. The deaths start before the big butcher lady. So let's ambush this dude for once. Maybe. For some reason I discounted those hits. Oh, and we picked up the sword. Tend to do that Say I'm gonna do something and then forget to read it. This is the Ringed Knight Straight Sword, I think. Definitely not a dagger. Okay, there we go. Straight sword wielded by the Ringed Knights, the arms of early men were forged in the abyss and betray a smidgen of life. For this reason, the gods cast a seal of fire upon these swords and those who possess them. So, not too crazy. Looks cool though. Kind of reminds me of like the scale type things on the wyverns and whatnot, but not like a crazy amount. So what do I want to do now? Oh, I want to go get the item I almost forgot about. So the Herald Knights are gonna pop out of there? No? Okay, not yet. So we get the one with the miracle over here. So I guess not. Oh, this isn't. Damn, it did damage. Shit, I'm gonna die. For some reason I thought this dude was still like a Locust. No, it's just one of those pilgrim type clerics. There's like, what, 3 of them over here? Oh, just some souls. Okay. Tiny locusts are funny. They're in a way when I look at them. Like the opposite of a Pokemon trainer. Elda says, at what point did they become locusts? You guess they became locusts because of their hunger. But that's a good question. I don't have an answer for that one, unfortunately, as to when they became locusts. But it is interesting that they've got so many tiny ones of them, so it seems like they really must be like a separate kind of race at this point, as opposed to full-on people turning into them. Unless like these are the pygmies who've turned into locusts. That's cool. Didn't realize they like burrowed like that. I two-handed, I could probably one-shot, just saying. The Squirtle attack. Kind of a shame the DLC takes a big dip level design here and just gives a big old wide open swamp. Yeah. 2 things you thought about now that would support my claim. One being that the gods might have come from the giants, so humans could come from other creatures. Second, coming. Why do locusts use magic? The blue color implies it's magic. Why not dark? Mercy, welcome back to the stream. So it's hard to say like why the locusts used magic, because I mean it's soul magic as opposed to dark magic. That's weird. Oh, okay, that's where it is. Don't want to get anywhere near that. So, I mean, you could argue that those are like products of its soul, whatnot. Oh, fudge. I should have rolled, I guess. I thought I was gonna be fine. I misread that. It's all good. So yeah, as far as like the locusts using magic, I don't know, probably to just differentiate them, because they probably couldn't attack very well with such small arms, but that's kind of more of like a meta reason as to post like why they do it. But if they were humans and they were sealed away by the gods, they might have been able to like use magic, and the gods were afraid they'd eventually turn to the dark. So there might be a connection between like that and everything. I mean, that's kind of conjecture more than anything, though. I don't really know why they use, like, soul-style magic. Ooh, got lucky. Yeah, I probably should, like, just two-hand against these guys to deal a bit more damage. Venom says, what's my favorite Pokemon? It depends. Oh, I whiffed. For, like, lore reasons, I would say Mew, because it's really cool. For, like, nostalgia reasons, I would say Articuno, because that was, like, the one that I wasted my Master Ball on. And also, I just really like the concept of like Ice Phoenixes in general. So Articuno has a special place in my heart. As far as like battling and stuff goes, I really like probably Lucario. Just because it's really versatile, has a bunch of cool moves, and it's really got a cool theme. It kind of reminds me of Anubis, which is a really cool god that I like in folklore and stuff. Pale pine resin? Interesting. Twinkling Titanite. So, Katie says, second is the chief way of white is named Lloyd, which means gray in Welsh. So yeah, I do think it's possible that like maybe the gods like weren't humans, but I think it's probably fair. It sounded like it was right in my ear, like the little voices. That doesn't sound ominous at all. I mean, it's coming from the game. I hope. I feel like this dude's gonna bait me into something. I thought there was something dangerous over here. Okay, yeah. Oh, why did I lose my lock on? How do I have this out? I think I need to like climb up this thing to fight the dudes up here. Okay, yeah. Oh, maybe I heard that guy talking? No, it shouldn't be. Because there's no other, like, clerics over where I was. Rid of that. The archer jerks. So I wonder if there's, like, the little dudes down below. Oh, that's the witch. Damn it, I was going to try to show that one off. So maybe like the little locust dudes like burrowed into the ground, or what make the noises, like the little voices that I hear. Guess he stopped caring? Or maybe he only summons like the archers once? I don't want to risk that though. I mean, I guess I could probably use the chameleon stuff. The birch trees? Alright, I'll look back at chat. Look down in the swamp. Yeah. Some of the little ones pop their heads out. It's funny. Why is a swamp right next to a desert? That's a very good question. I don't know. Okay, yeah, it must be these little things like talking or whatever. Oh yeah, over here. I kind of forgot about all this stuff over here. Can I chunk? Oh. Oh, that might have been the thing that I was thinking about a long time ago. So if we ever needed a chameleon, they do provide a few of the branches here for us to make it a bit easier. I think that spot over there was kind of annoying. So these dudes are praying to this thing? Don't remember what's in it. Maybe I should try to show one of these off. Oh, that's a Herald dude. Damn it. I wonder if they're like praying to these like dark crystals. It's probably something like in here actually. Tetsuo, welcome back to the stream. Sorry I missed you earlier. I just beat Seath. Ryan Thompson, welcome to the stream. Leomon is your favorite Pokemon? Is that like a Digimon? Corporal, welcome in. You said, absolutely love the design of the Locust. Also love these streams. Any relation to Major? Ulster says, could I have imagined if the Frayed Blade weapon art had range like that? Okay. Lucario kind of frail though. I mean, Lucario's so fast and strong, like most of his weaknesses are pretty well covered. But it depends on like how you build it. But you're not wrong in saying like he's a little bit frail. But the Church Guardian Shiv. Okay, that's cool. I'll leave the Pokemon stuff for there, I suppose. I don't remember if that's a spell. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be. Might be like the Corvian things. No, maybe it is. Weird. I must have been missing it. Oh, is this actually a consumable? Oh, crap. I would not have guessed that. Okay. Throw illusory blades that seek foes. This special throwing blade has a flat tip and is wielded by guardians of the Church of Filianor. Consume FP to project illusory blades which seek their targets. Guardians of the Church, of whom few remain, watch over Princess Filianor's eternal slumber along with the spears of the Church. Okay, so I don't remember, is it like once you upgrade like a lot of the Spears of the Church Covenant stuff that like you get to throw like more of these or something like that? Yeah, this is kind of a cool one. I don't really use FP, so what do I want to switch? Well, let's try switching this one out, I suppose. Oh, it curves when you rotate the camera. That's cool. Okay. Been a long time. Gee, what? Now I'm gonna go beat Nito. Some of the little ones brought their heads out. Lolster says, you don't know why, but their heads popping out and saying let the feast begin is freaking funny, especially if they pop out 3 inches in front of you. Tessa says, you don't watch streamers a lot? There are exceptions like LP, so you want to ask, why is backseating hated? If it spoils something, sure, but otherwise you don't really get it. I mean, it depends. Like, a lot of people just like to go through at their own pace and, like, do things the way that they'd like to, and sometimes, like, backseating can get annoying. It just, like, depends on, like, how it's done. For, like, people that are trying to go into games blind and they want to find things out on their own, I understand why they'd not want to not want to have backseaters. I feel like it's kind of like one of the struggles of trying to stream. It's something you haven't done before, or like played before rather, just because oh, here we go, let's try it this way. Like, you want to entertain your fans and you want to have like genuine reactions doing it, and you don't want that to get spoiled by people like telling you what to do to make the fights easier or whatnot. Some people like to learn things on their own. So it's kind of understandable, but like there's like the trade-offs, because I mean, people don't tend not to do it out of malice, they do it like out of excitement. Over here, maybe. I mean, I don't really blame a lot of the people who end up backseating. It's kind of human. Like, I backseat on other streamers as well at times. That's kind of dumb. I could have gotten grabbed, I guess, but we didn't, so we okay. Yeah. So sometimes, like, that authenticity gets overwritten from backseating. And I'll look at chat after I take care of this guy. And now wake up the big one? Interesting. Oh, he's just wandering around with his little buddies. Okay. Get some tree cover here. Check this out. For says streamers are content creators and they dislike a director. That's a funny way of putting it. These miracle casters have shells on their backs like the pilgrims. Interesting. Yeah. So yesterday I pointed out they might be similar to what the cleric blue set is wearing. Don't I get crystals or the deep around here? Maybe these are like deep crystals. I think like these crystals are related to humanity and curse probably, even though like you don't get cursed from them. When we use like the birch tree branches or the chameleon spell, we can turn into a humanity sprite. So they're probably like more related to the dark and stuff. Church guardians use shivs. You don't get the no backseating rule either. Also, Seath, it's been a long time since the Ring City. Was Seath really here? No, they were just messing with you. Ruins of the fun and someone tells you everything that's about to happen. So yeah, I mean sometimes like backseating ends up being spoilers, so that's why like a lot of people don't like it. I feel like you're kind of screwed if you're trying to show off new stuff, and that you should, to a certain extent, you should probably expect spoilers, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily make them more fun if you expect them either. Don't kill the babies. Skyoket, welcome to the stream. Sorry. They all must die for the lore. Not really, though. Gloucester says you never feel any inclination to backseat. Thanos, the baby, snap their spines in half. You get Monty Python vibes from El Degusto. God of Spaghetti, welcome back. You said, you ever played this game a few times but never completed the DLC? This area looks great. Yeah, I really liked the Ring City, even though like some of the areas aren't quite as action-filled. So this area is kind of like a nice calming portion of the DLC compared to some of the others. But overall, like it's got really cool lore, really cool enemies, really cool equipment. Pretty much everything you could ask for, except, you know, not being Londor or something like that. By Metamorphosis, people seem to be able to lose the undead curse. The area is a swamp area, you speedrun through it, destroy the child, corrupt them all. Yeah, you can become a humanity sprite, and I'll have to show that off to reveal one of the secrets of this kind of area later on. You know, that shiv thing is really handy. At least for this part. I mean, it probably doesn't do any damage, but... Oh, that was super weird, but okay. We'll take it. I think that's the last one. Maybe I still want to be cautious, just to be smart. Maybe I don't need to? Okay. Rubbish. I love it when stuff like that happens. You go through all that trouble and it's just literally garbage. And they say Miyazaki doesn't have a sense of humor. Actually, I'm lying. I have no idea if anybody's literally ever said that in their life. I feel like you kind of have to accept that he has a sense of humor, since he trolled everybody by saying like he always takes the pendant when he starts a new game of Dark Souls 1. That's just like a class act jokester move right there. He never says why he took it, just that he did. Oh, they punched me. See, this is what happens when you're merciful to infants in these games. They get you. I'm scared about the giant, but I don't see him. Holy crap, that combo is super fast. I should probably two-hand this more often. This is the hard part of this area. The part where I can pretty easily scuff it up. Ooh, I'm alone. let me look at chat before going into this spot. Think you could get their head as a helmet? Yes, we picked it up yesterday. The Locust Preacher head. Tessa says you got back into Dark Souls Remastered, and it was interesting. You somehow forgot the gargoyles existed and went straight for the best covenant ever, the Chaos Servants. You stopped at Sun's Gate waiting for it to open. Interesting. I don't... How is that... How does that mess with the interactions? Don't we get invaded over here too? Or maybe I just got invaded over here a lot when I first played through. I was pretty confident you got invaded, but I was really embering up for like the really big enemy over here. Time to pick up the legendary piece of rubbish. Always feasting, man. Killed the babies for the lore. Art role-playing reasons, I could pretend you're sympathetic to Manus. Told you handing is for true lords. I mean, you're not wrong exactly, but the shield is just so damn broken, why not use it? So this is the kind of bane of my existence, my first time through here. This is a fast boy. Holy crap, I did not remember. And we don't have our big old Egon boy to help us this time. Out of the greed. Away from the cliff. I've already forgotten his moveset. Can roll fast enough away from that one. That was scary. Forgot about that. It's headhunting. Ooh, got lucky. I tried to kick him. I didn't think it was going to do anything. Okay, so that went smoothly this time, which is nice. Glad I didn't die to the old boss there. And so we get the old Dragon Slayer set. Fun times, fun times. So, let's make this look cool, I suppose. I mean, it doesn't really matter at all, honestly. Dragon Slayer. Okay, Iron Dragon Slayer. What do you mean you waited for Sun's Gate to open? Yeah, I thought there was, like, you could just do it directly. You waited 10 minutes at the gate before you realized you forgot the upper bell? Oh, so you went down to Izalith first. Okay, I see what you're saying. You forgot about those gargoyles. Okay, I get you. You quickly one-shot them and rang the bell, got final exams in the coming week so Sun's Fortress can wait. Yeah, we did kill the Dragon Slayer, and so this will talk about it as well. So it's kind of interesting when, like, old bosses become mini-bosses, but... You sat there beside the onion boy trying to remember what you're missing to open the gate. This is where the police show up and arrest me for kicking that old man to death. Took you 10 minutes to remember. Quite a pickle indeed. Okay. So this is the stark melted iron helm of the ancient Dragon Slayer armor. The armor, defeated by the champion of Ash and Lothric, was left ages to rust until it slipped into an abyssal swamp or was possessed once again by the memory of the hunt. So I think the entire set says the same thing. It's kind of a cool set, but the regular one. This is the iron one. Interesting. So this looks like the ringed armor without the seal of fire on it. That makes sense in a lot of ways, then. So probably the ringed knights were old dragon slayers. Which, I mean, we kind of assume that, but that's probably a little bit more explicit with it. Okay, and let me check the gauntlets. I don't think they'll be better, but I'm just curious now. Okay, definitely not as good. And the pants. Pants are always Good to check out. Got better dark resistance. That might be useful against Madeir. Weighs the same. Better against strike. Oh, very negligibly. Okay, I'm going to say overall, like, the black iron ones are the way to go. Interesting. So I definitely didn't realize, just because of like how damn big it is on the enemy, that it's probably related to the knight dudes. And so we get, I think, a dead one. I hope a dead one. Dead 2 of the Herald Legion guys. I don't think I ever checked their big armor. Might be worth checking out. 3 of them. Didn't I just see an item over here, or did I already pick it up? Just this one? Okay. Titanite scale. So presumably the Dragon Slayer armor, which had previously been possessed by the Pilgrim Butterflies, which has always been weird for me to try to conceive of, got possessed by the Dark of the Abyss because he wanted to hunt dragons again, which is a bit weird. But I mean, I guess it's not really weird. I should probably stop saying that so much. It's more like the emotions of if it's original possessors probably started to like infect the armor itself. And since like they said that the ringed knight armor was originally crafted in the abyss and it betrays a smidgen of life, maybe that connects into why the Dragon Slayer armor is alive on its own in like this kind of abyssal swamp, which it talks about. Oh yeah, going back to that concept of like the abyssal swamp and like what the armor says, it says like specifically that it was beaten by the champion of Ash in Lothric. So we have to kind of assume like we're in the future. Well, or maybe not like the future, but like, I don't know how else you could take that. Like there is that kind of continuity between like this champion of Ash, like my character, and that armor winding up here. But if we go back to the idea that like maybe it fell into the abyss, like if we look at the comparisons between like Dark Souls 1 and Ulasil, that might mean what is it? Like, it could still get feasibly, like, transported into the future if it fell into the abyss. Or it could have just waited here all this time and, like, passively absorbed the humanity that's, like, in this abyssal swamp. So that's kind of the way that I look at it, that we're probably, like, in the future as opposed to, like, a parallel dimension. But even if it is a parallel dimension, it could still kind of work out by the game's own logic at times. Okay. Forgot the Upper Awakening bell existed. That never happened in Souls. Needing to wait. Okay. Must have been a big lapse of thought. Good luck in finals. You also have finals. Yeah, everybody who's like taking the time out of the days to watch me and you're like balancing school and work, I appreciate it and hope you get what you need to get done accomplished, and that like I don't prevent or lead into any bad habits with that. So yeah, good luck with all of those. And Katie says, you've heard a theory that the pendant's purpose is not letting you become hollow since you always search for its meaning. That shows that if Miyazaki, he sees people sitting, people make... that shows that if Miyazaki said he pees, people will make theories about it, yeah. Thanks, seeing your physics grades. You are, as they say in the business, completely screwed. Everything else is great, though. Yeah, physics is tough. Definitely something I never delved into or having the foresight to not want to put in that much effort, honestly. Now in the future, we walk through the pieces of Lothric on my way down. Skyocat says, if I keep finding meaning to something meaningless, won't that make you go mad, Hollow? Maybe. The Nameless King, Golden Knight, Ornstein, Ancient Dragon Slayer, Holy Trio of Dragon Slaying, the People, the Sun, and the Armor. You swear this is prime material for a top shelf Dark Souls story? Last time you had physics was in undergrad, someone got an A+, which is probably the biggest mystery the world will ever know of. Captini says, can you have some of that good luck buff you're giving out, even if I'm jobless? Absolutely, yeah. Go have the good luck that I presumably have in my 11 luck Dark Souls 3 build, and make that bread. And good fortune for all. So maybe these ones will animate? Maybe not. Maybe they're actually just like dead. It's kind of crazy. I think I was going to look at their armor again. But I thought there was something else other than the dragon slaying dude. I don't remember if he respawns. I don't think he does, but I kind of wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. That pretty much completes like this section of the swamp, and then the next spot gets a bit more difficult. I think I might have always just ignored the giant now that I think about it, but maybe I didn't. Who knows? He probably just respawns if he's anything like the other one, so probably no real reason to do it. But now I wonder if he's going to drop an item, so now I feel kind of obligated to go kill him. Oh boy, what was I going to look at? Oh yeah, the armor. The big boy armor. How much does it weigh? 17.2, so yeah, slightly heavier than the Katarina armor. Armor worn by the Herald Legion who sought the Dark Soul. The armor sank into the dark with the Legion, where their cavities bloated in grotesque displays, never again to fit any ordinarily shaped body. It's got pretty good dark resistance though, which makes sense, but... Okay. Let me get a little bit of that H2O. Okay, here we go. The abyss known as calculus, easy. How entire machines work, simple. Figuring out the speed of a guy walking down the road, literally freaking impossible. Sorry for the vulgar language. I think that was all. Yes, I think it must have been like maybe on my first time playing it because I was just connected online. Probably got invaded a lot in this area. It's a fun area to invade people because it's so open, and especially if you like kite enemies to them. I'm trying to remember my strat for coming through this section over here, because as we can see, there's at least 3 ringed city knights over there. We got the big adjudicator giant guy over there, which we don't need to worry about just yet. I might go fight him after dealing with everything over here. I know you can get these dudes to trigger an aggro on you and get like kind of ganked, which is always tough to deal with. Could have just parried. What am I doing? Oh. Oh, I was out of stamina, I guess, because I didn't get the second parry, which would have done it. My timing. I should have rolled. I did it a bit late. Damn, why did I keep missing? That time I was out of stamina. Alright. Oh, I thought I was gonna... Oh, he had more health than I thought, so... Okay. Glad I wasn't as reckless as I wanted to be originally. There we go. Golo is better at getting that first parry off and not taking the damage. We're okay on our HP for now. Oh, so the Black Witch Veil. Okay, sweet. Thought we get invaded by like another incarnation of Ulva, maybe, around this area. Let me see the dragon yet? No, okay. So the purple veil of the witch Zoli, who intended to seduce Alva the Wayfarer, but eventually became his closest supporter, spending her entire life with him. Zoli's veil was for travel, and to hide her affiliation with the misunderstood craft of witches. So it's interesting that she, like, hid her face, because I guess her face reveals that she's a witch? I don't know. Defense is a little bit less, but... Definitely covers the face. Your professor fancied you or something because you should not have gotten an A+. Armor of Wildfire, Tauchi? Anyways, are you the only one here who wishes you could use shields as complementary weapons, like the Dragon Slayer armor with the no U in the title? You mean... Oh, you mean like their shield specifically. You can get it, but it just like doesn't function the same, I think. This one I want to try. Use that right now. Damn it. I felt like that first throw was really good, just slightly off. Go. A little bit fortunate there. Oh, that wasn't a backstab? Come on. Pull in. That's dangerous as crap, though. Oh, that was fast. Oh no. Okay. Poised through that, thankfully. Probably really low in those now. 2 left. Okay, this should be enough to finish off the area, though, I think. I think she had the veil to wear in public instead of that pointy witch hat. Oh yeah, probably instead of the hat. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. No way to advertise you're a witch than just having, like, the pointiest witch hat imaginable. Oh no, there were 3! That's not cool. Oh, god damn it. Probably bad. Zoom. I'm dead, aren't I? Oh no, 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 no. What am I doing? Can't deal with that. Out. He's gonna zoom in. Screwed. We're screwed. There's a wall. Okay. Well, we just go right back over there. That's pretty close to the entrance thing. It's kind of one of the nicer parts about the swamp. Like, it seems large. It kind of is, but it also isn't. Like, you can get back to where you were really quickly. Pointy witch hat for bedtime. The Perry Kong, ladies and gentlemen. Jorge Munoz, welcome to the stream. Mortis says, you have to ask why start with the Dark Souls 3 for the first Dark Souls lore through? Because Dark Souls 3 has the most stuff that I can tie to, like, the concept of stagnation more explicitly. And so I wanted to do that video in relation to, like, Bloodborne and whatnot sooner. And also, I had just replayed Dark Souls 1 Prepare to Die edition fairly recently. I wanted to play a different one. So there's the treasure in that swamp over there. And I guess I didn't go on the side for the treasures. And those are going to be the big ones. Probably bad time rather. Fudge. Oh, he slowed me down. Get the souls. I don't trust those things anymore. I straight up screwed this up a little bit. Going all the way over here, I think will despawn the things. Not like despawn, but like reduce the aggro range. Well, now we can at least see if the armor's back. Not that I'll try to fight it, but I don't think it comes back. Okay. Sweet. So yeah, going back to the whole like why do Dark Souls 3 instead of Dark Souls 1, I mean that's pretty much it. Like I played Dark Souls 1 a lot more recently, like a few months before this, and I like finished off my platinum, so I'm kind of done with wanting to play Dark Souls 1 for a little while longer. And it doesn't quite go into the same stuff that I wanted to talk about. Oh, so you wish shields could be used to attack enemies like the armor does to whip my behind. Oh yeah, so like the super big shield slams. Yeah, I get what you're saying there.
I shall partake.
Roll. Go. Actually, I wonder how well that'll do on these guys over here. That was a good hit. It only took like 6 tries. Wait, so the Silver Knights guard the royal family's interests, and in Orlando and the paintings, Black Knights fight demons and other evils, and the Ring City's Knights just guard the Ring City? Maybe. I mean, it looks like they were previously like Dragon Slayers, maybe after they got the Ring of Fire put onto them. Oh yeah, that's good. Well, if I don't get hit by a goober, like a goober. Sweet. So the other one, does he just keep coming, or does he just on the patrol? So he's just patrolling, so I guess I must have just caught him at a bad time last time. Oh, fine. Ooh, heal up again. Okay. The Church Guardian Shiv is just a hunter tool. It's a consumable that uses a player's resource to use the item. Going. People say you're weird because you always slaughter babies in video games. And say I'm paranoid, among other things. Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 are the reasons why. Ooh. Oh, the dog's getting antsy. Might need to let her out in just a moment here. Five. Oh, damn it. Oh, it's because the male's here. That's it. Let me collect some of these items over here, and then I'll appease the furry friend, and then we can drop down on that guy. We don't need to, though. We've already collected the items over there. Twinkling Titanite. That's Midir again. Thought I heard him the first time around. Just get some footage right here. Should be in long enough pause for whatever reason. Put the flask back out. So that should be it right here. We can open up the shortcut back to the bonfire, I think. Does it piss him off automatically? Hopefully we're good. Don't want to drop down there. I want to go into that door. Okay. We get some of the Ringed City dudes here, which is a bit different. You can see that they've got like the skeletal style features on them. Maybe to show that they're already undead because of the fire seal. So, alright, we're back to the bonfire. Sweet. How much? Yeah, I'm not going to rest yet. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick AFK to let the dog out. And see you guys in just a moment then. Be right back. I don't remember if the drop here one-shots. I don't think it does. So let's make some content. Oh yeah, that's gonna kill me. Why didn't I just look down? Why didn't I just look down? There's Horus. He's ready to fight with his weapons out. So that was it for now. I don't think you can actually drop down to Horus from this point. I think you do have to go all the way down, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's okay. So we'll just go ahead and save scum out, or... Yeah, I'll just reload the save. No, I'm not gonna let gravity win, El de Gusto. Not this time. I think we're embered, so we're gonna keep that state. I'm not too worried about that anymore. Of course that would be the way that we jump down. Maybe I should back up just to see if he does something different. I don't know if that damages me. Oh, that does. Okay. I feel like a kid waiting on the ride to Disney World. It's like, are we there yet? I feel like the Joker trying to kill Batman. It's like, why won't you just die? Is this only second phase? What the fuck? Looks like some mistakes were made. I forgot he had a phase. Oof, that's not cool. Oh, that's a bad roll. Damn it. Okay. Oh my god, this dude has so much HP. one more slam and like a riposte. I think we should get it. That should be it. Yeah! Sweet. Oh, okay, that was a cool finish. I guess that kind of makes up for all of the headaches a little bit. I like they present. Oh, I might die from falling, won't I? Maybe. We'll see. Oh, this fall doesn't look as bad as I kind of remembered. Oh. That's really funny, actually. Early dancer when? I don't know. How is it that you initiate the dancer fight early? Is it just that you hit Emma? Then I might do it after Vort on the next stream, just for the hell of it.
What is wrong?
Okay, let's try to kill her and then see what happens.
Lord, it must be. My dear Prince Lothric.
So we get the Basin of Owls here. Alright, and we're back. Let me check out the chat. How dare that knight use Gwyn's holy 5-hit combo? Big sword go boom. Scroll up. Okay. Wait till you have to deal with the plague babies and demon souls. You have demon souls, but the controls are weird. You don't know where to go. It's pretty confusing for you. Are the controls weird? They feel the same to you? Why do these knights make so many clanging metal sounds? Because, I guess their armor's not well made to make so much noise? I don't know. Probably to give a bit of a telegraph of what you need to do. So we get this kind of a cryptic message here. Show your humanity. And that's pretty much like the only hint that you get as to what to do in this little spot right here. So I'll leave that alone for now. I'm gonna go pick up the items and then we'll deal with our little kind of secret over there before coming to see Papa Madeir over there. Maybe I want to collect this item over here first. Can't make him angry yet? I could show that off later. How many souls do I have? Probably a lot, because we're in the... Holy crap. Forgot about this guy. I don't know if I have my binoculars out right now. I got stuck on the wall. That'll be its death. Titanite chunk of the ember. Maybe that's actually the way forward. Let's pick up the item because we saw this way earlier. Okay, just a scale. Okay, that's pretty good. Better idea. Madeir is a good dragon, a good boy dragon who got bad influences from bad friends like the Abyss. That's the TLDR for Madeir, right? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there is always the question if like Shira is just using the chosen ash to do it.
Very then take.
But I think there might be some items which kind of corroborate her story, so I don't fully remember. Damn, almost 3 levels right there. Probably just get strength up to 50.
Farewell, Ash Maiden. Welks, very then taken.
600 damage.
Farewell, Maiden.
Not too shabby. Guess we're already at the max anyway, but... Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting that, like, from some of the corpses of the Locust, we get the Pale Pine resin as well, so that might explain why they use so much magic. There might be something, like, inherent within them that is more attuned to that. And I think you get, like, a catalyst or something like that, which might reinforce that. It's been a while, though. I don't fully remember. Mortis, yeah, we've had the highlight reel for maybe this week now, so it's nice that we have it. I could probably add a bit more to it, but I might need to get some more actual highlights before we go into that. Reject humanity, become humanity? And Katie says, you know, it's a while before I'll get there. But on the doors of Philionor's church is an image of a feminine figure. Same statues are in the Pontiff boss room. Okay, I did notice the statues on the front of the church from like when we were up higher, and I was going to try to look at them, but I probably wouldn't have remembered if they were in the Pontiff boss room. So thank you for pointing that out. Alright, so I'm probably not going to worry about what's like how much health I have coming through here, just because we've already picked up everything. Like, we've fought things. Okay, the Preacher's right arm. That's probably what I was thinking of. Now let's make some regrets. Bro, how long do these damn archers last? I was trying to heal right then. Okay, I'll look at the Preacher's right arm and then try to pick up the... I'll probably try to fight the boss or the giant that's not Argo, and then pick up that one item, which is probably just like Souls. Knowing the Souls games. Alright, and yeah, and Jorge says I might be thinking of that arm that we just picked up. So talk about timing, am I right? So the desiccated right hand of a white-faced locust that rose from an abyssal swamp that happens to perform as a catalyst for sorcery. The white-faced locusts were meant to beckon men to the dark with sermons, but most of them are unable to think past their own stomachs, the unruly mob. So okay, it might have been what's the word? Impressing some of my beliefs on it, but I mean, the fact that we can use their arm directly as a catalyst probably does show that they are more attuned, that kind of thing. Maybe it shows that the Locust people are kind of wooden themselves, because all of the other staffs and whatnot are like made out of wood of some kind. And even this one kind of resembles like a tree branch to a certain degree. And the skill Feasting Branch, use souls to weave a sharp branch to fillet prey, can be used repeatedly, and that's kind of their special move that they use on us. And it scales with intelligence, which is a little bit interesting, but I mean, I guess that makes sense with like more sorcery style attuned spells. That catalyst, high five to death. Adir's lair is where the flame was found. They use metal catalysts in one. Oh yeah, like the tin one. But I mean, like generally, like in this one, a lot of them are made out of wood. But I do appreciate that correction. Our boy sees us, I think, so we're gonna get screwed. Whoa. Damn it. I thought they were going to be done shooting. Those ones last so long. Or I could probably like kite him to a rock or something. Like there has to be an easier way to kill him. Tiny Boots, welcome back to the stream. You said, hello, you hope everyone's doing well. Thank you. Katie says, first you thought these statues were Gwendolyn since they look somewhat similar, but now that you think about it, it might have been Gwyn's wife or one of his concubines, like on the walls of the Philly Norris Church. That was a quick death? Yeah, it's like the archers will one-shot me. I should probably Ember up, actually, if I want to survive a bit more. Yeah, maybe if I kill all of the locusts over by this pedestal thing. I mean, it's obviously not a pedestal. Actually, wait a second. Oh, that's just its head. It kind of looked like a humanity sprite, so I was confused. Actually, if that works every time, this won't be as bad as I was fearing. Out of stamina, out of stamina. Didn't wait long enough. Okay, that was okay. That's not as okay. Oh, that's a different grab. Trying to hide from our giant friend for now. Wait, did it just fall through the ground? Okay, no. Damn it. Probably gonna get hit by some witch stuff. So maybe now this will work out for us. I probably want to get it closer though. Oh, so there were the witches. Oh, that was a lot less health than I was expecting. Oops. TOS. So we get a hidden blessing. Okay, so kind of a better item, but I mean, mostly negligible. Soul of a Wary Warrior. I think there's nothing else over here. Like, we already checked over by the big one. No more random items. Okay, that's perfect though. So we can go back and then perform our little trick over here. So maybe I need to be a little bit further in. I'm not sure. Let's test it out. Where are we at? So this is the important one. We don't use that one. I mean, we could. Oh, sweet. We got the humanity sprite on the first try. So yeah, using the tree branch here or the chameleon spell can occasionally turn the player into a humanity sprite. Hopefully falling doesn't cause us to lose the spell. Holy crap, this goes slowly. I can get lucky and not get the archers. Yeah, that happened this time. Tessa says it might be something I need to be around to fully understand, but why do people have PTSD from Sen's Fortress and Anne Orlando's archers? Damn it, I was right. It's pretty dope though. Okay. Now I probably need to use like all of them. people get PTSD because they don't know like the timings of the like swinging blade traps and or like the timing of when they can get around the arrows of the two Black Knights. And even if you go up to the top and if you like tried to shield some of the Black Knight stuff, it can end up still knocking you off the roof. So since most people will try to actually legitimately kill everything on their first try around, like it can be extremely slow going is going through the Sen's Fortress and the other thing. I need to... Alright, so that was that. So it's the secret thing to show our humanity to access this little ladder here. Very unintuitive, just because like who's gonna know that you can turn into a humanity sprite in this area? And I guess we can hear Madeira roaring way in the distance. And we get our very, very long ladder. Don't remember if this actually just goes right back into the next area or something else. That is just like to the purging stone. Okay. Let me look back at chat. This is going to be a long travel, lol. Yeah. Tiny Boot says, the one place you hated on your first playthrough is the Bed of Chaos boss arena and the invisible platforms on the crystal caves. Yeah, the invisible platforms is pretty rough to deal with, I think. Oh, we get another giant up here. I totally forgot about this guy. Doesn't he actually summon stuff? I forget what he summons. Yeah. Leto. Probably want to stay close to him then. I thought there's like another enemy over here. Trying to kick it. Okay, that's the other enemy I was thinking of. Oh, we done goofed. We got two enemies at once. Roll! Oh no. We're gonna get zoomed on? Nope. Now we are. That wasn't enough to kill it, unfortunately. That wasn't a backstab. Not trying to kick. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Oh, shit. That was a very lucky shield, I'll admit that. I was afraid it just killed me after going through all that other crap. Not archers. The banes of my existence, because these last forever. I wonder if that's supposed to be Zully. She has like the witch hat or something like that. Get another divine blessing. Thought I heard stomping around. Okay, so that's where the one... Oh. Bring this right back over here. Okay. Oh, this would probably be an interesting thing to show off, at least right here. That up there, plus those down there. Put that away. Okay. Mr. Lulster says, you personally hate not being able to see a goddamn thing in the Tomb of the Giants. Yeah, that place is rough, especially because, like, getting the source of light is such a pain in the ass, too. Like, unless you somehow know about, like, the sunlight maggot ring. Not the sunlight maggot ring, Trading the thing too snugly to get like the sunlight maggot or the let me rephrase it. So going early to get the sunlight maggot hat thing, or trading to snugly for the lantern early. Although I don't really think you can trade early with snugly. I think you get the item late. It's been a long time. I mean, I guess it really hasn't been a long time. I just don't remember. Tesla says the only place you hated on your first blind through was going from and out of Blight Town. Ladders in that place are invisible, a ton of enemies, and too much poison toxicity. Not to mention the dang mud. Yeah, I did not like Blight Town. Just because of like how like if Blight Town didn't slow you down in the mud, it probably wouldn't be too bad. Honestly, it's just too much for like too little once you actually get down to the bottom of it. Like the part with all the platforms was kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of annoying, but it's at least you're exploring stuff actively. But the swamp part just kind of drags it all down for me anyway. Professor Gomez says, sorry you weren't here during your stream. You were occupied. Have I fought Midir yet? No, we talked a lot about like darkness and stuff like that. So now we're going to do the Purging Stone stuff, and then what else? Do I need to go down there? Oh, there's a ladder here. Okay. And then pretty soon we'll start to head towards like Midir and all that. So this is the lightning thrower that ganked us, the one down below. And we get the dragon head shield. I'll try to show that in a moment here. Okay, so this is the purging monument. It looks like it's got like a bunch of the faces of people within it. It honestly reminds me a lot of the Nightmare of Mensis rocks. That's kind of a terrible job panning, so let's try it again from here. Going a little bit slower than I meant to. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it, still a little bit fast. That'll be good enough. Let's check out our shield here. This will be a heavy boy. What? Not? Oh, we got the small one. Okay. So Jorge says, you're pretty sure it's Zully. It's poo? Oh god, that makes it even worse. Skull Lantern. You can get the Sunlight Maggot at Lost Izalith. If you trade the maggot, you get the Witch Ring. Okay, that's what it is with the ring. But I'm pretty sure you could also trade for the Skull Lantern early as well. I might not remember. And Jorge needs to head out for dinner. See you later. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. And I hope your dinner is going to go well, too. Emlyn says, you get the lantern in Dark Souls 1 from the Necromancers on the way down, or from Patches kicking you. I know you can get it in there, but I thought you could also trade with Snuggly. You could get lucky with the Necro Lantern, or use Sorcery. Okay. Yago, welcome back to the stream. Oh yeah, they drop occasionally. That's what it was then. We talked a lot about darkness sounded so edgy. Rip. Are the enemies in the Ring City hollowed? I think so. I mean, kind of. Maybe not all of them. Or hollowing is kind of weird in terms of like how it's presented in the Ring City. I feel like the Ring Knights are probably hollow because of like the Seal of Fire on. I'm not entirely sure about the Herald Legion Knights because like they're all like infused with dark, so they just might be like monsters. If you really want to say like, if you really want to compare that to hollowing or something else, I'm not entirely sure. Elder says, you did hate the invisible path and the bed of chaos as well, the worst. Yeah, my gripe about Izalith is that it was, like, unfinished, really. I thought the area was super cool in terms of, like, the overall concept and the idea, but it just didn't pan out. Very reminiscent of Bloodborne, not the first thing reminiscent of Bloodborne. Tetsuo hates the swamp areas like the Farron Forest, Forbidden Woods, Blighttown, and the areas in Demon Souls. You forget the name. Can't remember Dark Souls 2, so you don't remember its swamp. Purging Monument looks like the Purging Stones, and they were treasure of the Earl of Karim, which would mean he was here. I don't necessarily think it means that Karim was here, although that's a really interesting idea. But that he might have, like, killed people and turned them into Purging Stones, which people probably didn't want to think about. But okay. This shield, as hard as a great boulder, is formed by the head of a descendant of an Archdragon. The Ringed Knights, by the command of gods, stood amongst the ranks who set out to slay the dragons, but their contributions were never lauded. So I guess that's the explicit confirmation that the Ringed City Knights were Dragon Slayers themselves. We kind of see it in the Dragon Slayer armor, the Iron Dragon Slayer armor. But, okay, so this is like the confirmation of it. Skill, Dragon Breath. Even the descendant of an Archdragon perishes not, and use of this skill restores its former strength, sweeping foes with a frontal exhalation of Dragon Breath. That's kind of cool. It just shows that the dragons are never dying, probably because they're not technically alive. Oh, you guys say Patches comes up here, doesn't he? So maybe I actually want to save Scum. Because he goes back to his prior ways. I don't exactly remember how it happens. But let's be smarter about it. First time in Bloodborne, you spent so long in the Forbidden Woods. Katie says, you thought he might have had a connection to early humanity and gods. Okay, I mean, yeah, he was definitely connected to humans and maybe the gods. Because he's called, like, the Duke or the Earl of Karim. Like, for some reason, I was confused Earl Arstor and the Duke of Karim, whose name I can't remember. Enix is so desperate for players, they're putting the Avengers in PlayStation now? Weird. Earl is the same level as Duke. Technically, no, I think, but I think, right? Because I think
What did I come here in search of? Damn. Stop it. I'm unbreakable. Unbreakable.
now that I'm, like, not bobbing up and down.
What did I come here in search of? Damn. Stop it. I'm unbreakable. Unbreakable. Are you certain of that? No. Sorry, I know you'd never lie to me. Thank you. Thank you kindly. I'll speed right on over. It won't be long now before I know everything. Who I was, what I lived for, and what my name was. And I'll have you to thank for it all.
And Felu said, did the stream just explode for anybody else? Oh, it looks, yeah, it's bad on my end too. Let me check. Oh yeah, I'm down to 160. hopefully this is a bit better. I might need to like drop my bitrate a ton because it's just super bad right now. Let me try to look at this again. Yeah, it's not looking good. Okay. I'll need to stop and Alright, so if you guys can hear me, I think we're going to have to end up stopping it for today just because it's too unstable. It's bouncing very wildly on my end between like 2,000 and like a couple hundred. And normally like I stream at about like 4,000 kilobytes per second. So definitely terrible, terrible performance. So unfortunately, we will cut it here for today. And so we will pick it up again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. So until then, I hope you all stay safe and have a good day. Take care.